Good morning YouTubians, it's Kermit's Ghost and it's cult movie poster review time again, and we're on number 10 already, and that film is none other than The Goonies, directed by Richard Donner, written, the screenplay that is, by Chris Columbus, and the story is by none other than Steven Spielberg. Let's put this film on, a good old 1985 movie, and see what it's all about. So this movie has a huge cast, and we go through them one by one. We have Sean Astin as Mikey. Got Josh Brolin as his brother Brand. Jeff Cohen as Chunk. Corey Feldman as Mouth. Ki Hu Kwan as Data. I think I pronounced that right. Kerry Green as Andy. Martha Plimpton as Steph. John Metzazak, I think that's how you pronounce it, as Sloth. Robert Davey as Jake. Joe Pantolino as Francis, I think I said that right. And none other than Anne Ramsey as Mama Fratelli. So this film is quite action-packed, there's a lot going on, and it starts off with a jailbreak. You got Mama Fratelli and her son, and they're helping the other son escape from the local county lockup. And he fakes his hanging, his own death, and while the guard's reading a suicide note, he knocks him out, and they set a fire around the perimeter of the jail, and they escape in a jeep. And the police are pursuing them. And while this is happening, you're kind of introduced to each of the Goonies, the title character Goonies, which is a gang of kids that live in the area. You've got Mikey, who's like a dreamer, asthmatic, about 15 I'd say, and his bunch of friends. You've got Mouth, who's mouthy, played by Corey Feldman. You've got Chunk, who's kind of overweight, and they kind of take the mick out of him a little bit. And you've got Data, who's an Asian kid who's full of gadgets. He's got like things hidden in his whereabouts, like cameras and like exploding things and teeth and all sorts of stuff. And you got Brad, who's not in the Goonies, but he's Mikey's brother, and he just sits around all day sort of lifting weights and stuff. And the story is the Mikey family, they are going to lose their house because a local developer is going to buy them out or something. It's not sure what they're doing, but they're going to lose their house because they don't have the money. And you've got his dad, who is a local curator of the local museum. So as it's come out to the last days that they're going to live in this house, they decide that they're going to all explore Mikey's attic. Because the dad's a curator of the local museum, they assume he has a lot of treasure up in the attic, which he does for some reason. But anyway, they go up there, exploring around, and they find a treasure map from 1632 of a pirate called One-Eyed Willie and his ship, the Inferno. And they decide that they're going to go on one last sort of adventure together, because the band's going to break up, obviously, because they're all going to go separate ways, and hunt down the treasure of One-Eyed Willie. And while they're up there, they find out an explorer has already tried to find the treasure, and that explorer was called Chester Copperpot. We'll come to him again a little bit later. Now, when they're deciding whether or not to follow the map and find the treasure, or maybe if someone's already found it, or it's a fake, they're sitting on the sofa discussing it, and there's a big pirate print actually on the sofa, which I think was a nice little detail. Anyway, so they decide that they're going to find this treasure, and they locate the entrance to the map where it's all going to start, and that happens to be where the Fratellis are hiding out from the police. It's in an old disused building in the middle of nowhere. Now when the gang go to this abandoned building, they notice that they've got some kind of creature locked in the basement in chains, and it's making all sorts of noises. Now when they arrive at the disused building to start the treasure hunt, they are joined by Andy and Steph, two girls that Brand knows, and Andy actually fancies Brand, but we come to that in a bit. The start of the treasure map location is underneath a fireplace, and in all the confusion of trying to get down there without being caught by the Fratellis, Chunk gets left behind, and they tell him to go and find the police and alert them to the whereabouts of the Fratellis. But the Fratellis capture Chunk and they lock him down in the basement with the monster. Now the monster, as it turns out, is their other son. The two brothers have another brother, and it is Sloth, a deformed character who's super strong and always hungry, a bit like Chunk, and he's chained to the wall. Kind of resents him for it, and you can't blame him. Well, Chunk and Sloth bond over a chocolate bar, and they become the best of friends. So the Goonies are well on their way now to find the treasure. They're going through tunnels, through booby traps, under a wishing well. It's a real Indiana Jones kind of adventure. Unfortunately for them, the Fratellis have been questioning Chunk, kind of on the brink of torture, and he has spilt the beans and told them that they're going to find One-Eyed Willie's treasure. So they are hot on their tails and on their way down there, and they are armed to the teeth. Well, this is not an easy ride for the Goonies whatsoever. There are pitfalls with spikes at the bottom. There is like falling rocks. They find Chester Copperpot's body underneath a rock. He's been crushed to death and his skeleton remains. There's a big like piano thing, the bone organ that they have to play, and if they don't get the keys right, which is on the back of the map, the floor gives way and there's like a 1,000-foot drop to their death. So there's a lot for them to get through. And that is where I'm going to leave it, because if I give you too much away, but believe me, there is a great payoff in this movie. Well, did I like the Goonies? In short, yes I did. This film has something for everyone. It's a cross between Pirates of the Caribbean, National Treasure and Indiana Jones. It's got something for everyone. The characters were really good as well. You've got Anne Ramsey is brilliant in this. All the kids, I thought they put a really good performance in. Practical effects, no CGI in this, probably pre-CGI anyway. It's a great payoff at the end, and I won't say any more than that, but a great payoff. Such a good film. I would give this film an easy 8 out of 10. So have you seen the Goonies and did you enjoy it? What's your favourite scene from this or quote? Is it Sloth going down the cell, hey you guys, or is it when Mouth's having the pearls pulled out of his mouth by Anne Ramsey? Is it when Mouth is explaining to the cleaning lady where the cocaine goes? You know, there's quite a lot of things for adults in this film as well. But there you go. If you leave a comment down below, I will get back to you. Give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. And subscribe if you haven't. It's all free. Why wouldn't you? And on that note, thank you so much for choosing my channel and watching my video today. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.